Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Rundown, where we talk about 2A news and conservative views. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
That's right. My name is Mike Piwowarski, coming to you live from the East Coast. That's the coast with the most, from the co-host with the most here on the Rundown. 2A views, conservative news, and Craig, getting a little tasty. You know what today is?
It's Taco Tuesday.
It's raining tacos from out of the sky. Tacos, no need to ask why. Just open your mouth and close your eyes. It's raining tacos.
It's raining tacos out in the street. Tacos, all you can eat. Lettuce and shells, cheese and meat. It's raining tacos. Yum, 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 yummity yum. It's like a treat.
Well, it feels like it's been a while since we have enjoyed Taco Tuesday together.
It's probably mostly your fault. I'm going to blame that on you because it definitely can't be my fault. But yeah, I think you're correct.
Oh, I see how it is. Blame the brother, but that's okay. I have broad shoulders. I can handle it. I can handle the responsibility.
It's the easy. You listen, they're just going to let you go anyway. It doesn't matter. You're in and out.
It's a misdemeanor. It's a misdemeanor as long as it's not a felony. I mean, it's not like the show's worth $950.
Yeah. I mean, listen, even if so, you can get 20, 30 of those things and then just keep letting you go. You'll be fine.
Well, yeah, there you go. As long as you don't do it all at once, then you're all good.
That's right. Yeah, spread it out. Yeah.
Excellent. So, how was your extended weekend?
Well, a lot of driving. Had to do like a couple of 8-hour drives to Alabama. Yep. And I didn't even get to go to Greenbow, so I just went to Alabama to do some work. And, 2 days there, I started liking my sister. It was kind of weird. I don't know what was going on.
It's kind of weird.
It was kind of weird.
Yeah, okay. Do not spend too much time in Alabama. How about that?
No, don't. I couldn't keep my shoes tied. Couldn't keep my shoys tied either. They kept trying to come off.
They let you wear shoes in Alabama?
Well, I drove in wearing them. So I think it's don't take them off while you're there is kind of the rule. But they slowly kept coming untied while I was there. So
well, that's why you're supposed to wear boots, cowboy boots.
Oh yeah, with suspenders on, to keep them on.
Suspenders to keep the boots on. Well, there you go.
Yeah, there's some kind of gravitational force in Alabama pulling shoes off of people.
As I watch our numbers in Alabama begin to tank.
Oh, like there's the internet in Alabama. Come on, we're good.
On that note, let's go ahead and get this show started. Mike, you want to go ahead and give a quick shout out to our sponsors?
Yeah, let's say hi to our friends at Hitman Industries. That's hitmanindustries.net. Now you can get yourself an AR barrel in rifle or pistol caliber in any length you desire for your next AR build or rebarrel your current AR platform. That's hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. Make sure you reach out and give them a hand if you can. If you want the best in tactical holsters on the market, get your butts over to hogholsters.com. That's HAWG holsters.com. Hog Holsters. Use the discount code The Rundown. That's all one word. No spaces, all caps. Get a nice little discount. And if you want tactical gear, going to the field gear, you want hunting gear, no matter what it is, you can get everything except a gun at uscombatgear.com.
That's right, folks. Please take a moment, visit our sponsors. We make it real simple for you. We put the link in the description to this program. So however you are watching the program, all you got to do is click on the links. You can check them out, spend some money with them, and make sure you tell them that it was the guys over at the Rundown that sent you. Also want to encourage you, please, if you have not already done so, please like, share, subscribe. I'm really excited to see our numbers on both Spotify and on Rumble seem to be steadily progressing, although I'd like to see more. I'd like to see y'all, folks, those are the best places. If you're going to watch us live, I'll just tell you, Rumble is the best place to watch us live. If you're not going to watch us live and you're going to watch us recorded or just listen to the program, go to Spotify. Because with Spotify, you have the option of doing both. You can both listen and or you can watch the program. In either case, make sure we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook. However you are partaking of the program, if you're watching us live, that's 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Go ahead and comment. If we like what you got to say, we'll go ahead and we'll talk about it on the air. This is an interactive program. We enjoy having y'all on and enjoy hearing from you. So go ahead and let us know what's up. And that will then bring us to our stories. And our first story, well, it has to do with the relationship between the United States and Israel. Now, yesterday there was a resolution, a ceasefire, UN ceasefire resolution before the UN Security Council. Now, mind you, there are certain countries that have the ability to veto any resolution that comes out. So, in other words, even if the entire committee votes a certain way, there are certain nations, and the United States is one of those nations, who has the ability to veto that. Well, let's just say that yesterday this ceasefire, let's just put it this way. We had a chance to veto it, and we decided that we were not going to veto it. We decided our representative abstained. That's what this lady right here is doing, U.S. Ambassador Linda Thomas Greenfield. She's actually voting to abstain. And I'll read a little bit of the story. It says, the United Nations Security Council on Monday adopted a resolution demanding an immediate ceasefire between Israel and Palestinian militant group Hamas after the United States abstained from the vote, prompting Israel to cancel the visit of a high-level delegation to Washington. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had warned before the vote that the delegation's visit would be pulled if Washington did not veto the motion. The U.S. abstention signals a widening divide between the White House and Israel's current government, the most right-wing in its history, nearly 6 months into the war with Hamas in the Gaza Strip. Now, there's a couple of things that are important to note about this particular resolution. Number one, it did not include a requirement that they release the hostages. Number two, it made absolutely no mention of what started this war, which was October 7th. Neither one of those things were in this resolution, yet Israel was supposed to capitulate to it. Now, Mike, I just, for the life of me, I just cannot, I ain't gonna lie, I'm pissed. I'm pissed at the White House, and I think in the end, the only positive at all that comes out of this is that this pretty much is going to sink Joe Biden's presidential hopes of getting reelected.
Yeah, so the UN Security Council, right, is 15 nations represented out of all those in the world. I only think we got 1 or 2 countries that are not in the UN, right? And there 10 of them. There's 15 nations in that. 10 are elected by the rest of the members. 5 are permanent party. And if you think about World War II, and when World War II ended, you can figure out who the 5 are. It's Russia, United States, the UK, France, and China of all. So any of those say no to anything, and then that's done. It's over with. Which is why you have the abstention, right, from the United States. And Craig, I agree with you 100% that that's going to sink Joe Biden. Now, maybe they could come out and say, "Oh, our ambassador didn't know what she was doing," or who knows? Whatever excuse they're going to come up with, they'll attempt to come out with an excuse. But to me, this is just further evidence of the uselessness of the United Nations, it's far outlived what it was needed for, and they keep every time they put something like this out, it just further proves how weak and inept they are. When you know that we're funding the majority of it, why do we even care what they're doing?
Well, not just weak and inept, but corrupt. Let's be real. This is corrupt because these are largely nations who are either cowardly or they're weak, and by the way, and they hate Israel, right? There's no mystery about any of that. But I will just say this. How can you expect Israel to support to follow anything that comes out of the United Nations? And by the way, just so y'all know, about the overall budget of the United Nations is about, I think I want to say $1.3 billion or something like that, and 860 million. And I may be off by a couple of zeros, but the point is that easily we pay the lion's share of the bill there at the United Nations. As far as I'm concerned, screw them. I'm tired of paying for the rest of the world. I'm tired of paying for the rest of the world's defense from people like Hamas and like Russia. Screw them. Defend your own country.
Yeah, and we pay for the building, right? And we pay for the property, the prime real estate. And listen, I think the UN folks there owe us something. Well, the city of New York, anyway, something like $15 million in parking tickets because they have their immunity, so they're like, screw it, they park wherever they want to. So
exactly, I'm done with them. I am fully and wholly done with the United Nations. And if NATO doesn't start paying their bills, as far as I'm concerned, I'm sorry. We're the one paying their bills. We're the ones that are paying for their national defense. The reason why they get like a 30-hour work week and get to retire, it's at 37 and get for all the free medical care is because we pay for your national defense.
Yes.
Done.
Yeah. Listen, just as a sidebar, here you go. The UN General Assembly owes the city of New York $17 million in parking tickets.
I think that'll pay for a half a dozen tiny homes for illegal immigrants.
Yeah, there you go. Right.
Time. That's how those international relations for you.
Yeah. There you go. I got a tiny home for you. Come on, get in here. There you go. It's an old shipping container. I know it's on a ship. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Oh, shipping containers on ships. Who'd have thunk it?
Look,
you're paying for an ocean cruise, okay?
Yep. There you go.
Free cruises for illegal immigrants.
That's it. Enjoy, baby. We got barges running out of New Jersey daily. Yep.
Exactly. We will take you right back to whence you came.
That's it. There you go.
Good stuff. Okay. This next one. Now, mind you, Columbia University is a university that is known for, they're known for not allowing conservatives or for actually coming against conservatives who want to speak on their campus, not giving them the ability to speak. Now one would say, well, that must mean that they're anti-free speech. Well, it's not really that they're anti-free speech. They're anti-free speech that they disagree with, because on the very same campus at Columbia, an Israel designated terror group is teaching, quote, Palestinian Resistance 101 and lauding planes and hijacking. That's right, lauding actual acts of terrorism. And I want to play a little bit of the video where they were talking about, once again, they were doing the quote unquote, the lauding of terrorism.
That this battle did not start on October 7th, and the genocide did not start on October 7th. And we're talking about 76 years and, in fact, over 100 years of struggle. But the fact is that October 7th changed the world. And when we say October 7th changed the world, one of the reasons why we might say that is because on October 7th, we saw the potential of a future for Palestine liberated from Zionism by the force of the resistance.
It's really important to see how the Al-Aqsa flood operation have liberated the Palestinian inner strength outside the new generations that today are getting involved in the struggle. And it's so visible in the US, Canada, Europe, and elsewhere, of a new generation that is actually leading our struggle in the diaspora.
That's right. These students are leading their struggle. It says here, this is the Washington Free Beacon, on Sunday, a group of kifa-clad individuals huddled around a computer to discuss the Palestinian resistance. Charlotte Cates, a member of the Israeli-designated terror group Samadan, praised Hamas's October 7th terror attack for showing the, quote, potential of the future for Palestine liberated from Zionism. Now, Mike, I got to tell you, these are organizations that, quite frankly, I mean, these are people who, after Israel is destroyed, after they're gone and all Israeli and all Jews are dead, then they want to take us out, right? We're next. You know, you, and you are next in their eyes. By the way, those people who were just on there, I don't even want to know what her background is because she looked like a. Anyway, I won't even get into it. I won't even get into it. But I'll just put it this way: she will be it will be the first of the people who are in line to be thrown off of a bridge or set on fire under the new caliphate should these folks be successful.
It's funny, you could see Johnny Terrorist there. He's having the conversation with the troubled trans girl with the shaved head, and he's like, okay, I'm talking to you. I can't believe I'm the one that has to talk to you. Why do I have to talk to you? Okay, listen, I'm going to agree with you because we enjoy the money you're sending us right now, and it's great. But once we win this war, we want to invite you over as the center of the celebration so we can kill you as well. Thank you.
And that will be
Let's go through his head. They're like, oh, we're going to have you over for dinner. Oh my God, what are we serving? No, we're having you for dinner. You know, yeah.
I once again, now this is an organization that is allowed to exist on the campus on the campus there at Columbia University. Yeah. I will continue to say there was a time in which I used to be impressed by the Ivy Leagues. Now, all I know is that they're educating their students into imbecility. That seems to be their thing. Their goal is to create useful idiots, which I think is the kind of the direction that Marxism is desiring to go anyway.
And the world needs useful idiots, right? I mean, if we didn't have this chick here, go doing her ridiculousness, then there'd be other people out there that we actually had to take for serious. Like, oh man, that guy's got a good point. This chick, at least she walks around with a "I'm a crazy" flag over her, so everybody knows.
Well, and once again, but though these are the people though that the Biden administration is kowtowing to. The reason they abstained on the UN Security Council vote was to cater to that person.
Yeah. And let me be clear. Listen, I'm not saying she's crazy because she's going through whatever her trans ordeal is. I'm saying she's crazy because she's trans and she's supporting an organization that has said we want to kill trans. Okay, that's so. Here, I am a person that you want to kill, but I would like to support you. Okay, we will take your money and then we'll kill you later. That's literally what's going on there. So
it's just to be clear, so that y'all understand exactly what Mike's talking about. Okay, there's number one, kill the Jews. That's number one. They want to kill all the Jews. Number two, they want to kill all the infidels, right? Who's included in the infidels? Well, everyone who does not believe in Allah. Most specifically, those of you who believe in homosexuality, those of you who believe in transgenderism, those of you who dare show your hair, who don't walk around with the what's the thing on the face, the hijab, right?
Yep, hijab. Yep.
All of y'all, anyone who draws a picture of the Honorable Muhammad, right? Anybody who does anything that they don't like, you die. I kill you.
Okay, funny steak. Yes. And folks, listen, I've seen him do it. Drag him out in center square and and stone him to death. It's their culture. All right, good enough. I'll be over here with my machine gun if you need me. So
it's like you can't make this stuff up. These people who follow this are so stupid. There's no making it up. It's like y'all are dumb. Y'all are just dumb.
Yeah.
I wish I could tell you, but that's what you want. That's what you want to give into. No. Tell you what. How about this? How about you pack your shit and you go over there? Go live there. See how it goes for you. Go, please.
Go.
We'll pay for your flight.
That's it.
It'll only be one way.
Donations. Here they come. Here they go. Yeah.
Donations are coming.
Take your friends. Yep.
There you go. You go. All right, moving right along. Now, it's kind of funny because the right and the left finally agree on something, and that is that the quote-unquote, the existence of the two-tier justice system. Now, the left happens to believe that if you happen to be a person of color, then you get different justice. And those of us on the right seem to believe or recognize that, if you happen to be a Republican running for president, then there is definitely a two-tier justice system. Well, now Democrats are once again complaining about the two-tier justice system, and what they're complaining about is our good friend Mr. Trump. It says it's so infuriating. Democrats complain Trump benefits from a two-tiered justice system after New York bond lowered. Democrats and never Trump Republicans have settled on a talking point after the New York appeals court lowered the bond that former President Donald Trump has to post in order to appeal a civil fraud case from $464 million to $175 million that the former president benefits from a two-tier justice system. It says, it says here, this is some from Inside Jen Psaki. It says Trump is not the victim of a two-tiered justice system in this country. He has been a beneficiary. There is one system for the powerful and the wealthy and well-connected like Donald Trump, and then there is another system for everyone else. And Mike, what I'm trying to figure out from this is, so what poor person has been what poor person has been attacked by the Attorney General of the state of New York with a law that no one has ever been prosecuted for a crime where nobody was victim, and forced to come up with $500 million in order to have his day in court? I don't understand. I don't understand how. I mean, clearly there must be a greater victim than President Trump. I mean, according to what Jen Psaki says.
Yeah. Hey, Jen, by the way, hook us. Come on, give us a call. The victims are the residents of the state of New York. Those are who your victims are. You've got the Attorney General there going after the president, for common real estate transaction loaning, finance, banking practices. Right. Remember, it was time to get a loan to do some work. They value their property. The bank's okay. The property, the money was paid back. Remember, the alleged victim here, she's the state, not the bank. Although the bank's like, we're good. We were paid 100% and put in full. It was no issue. We agreed to this. So the victims are the people of the state of New York, because the AG's office is wasting their time on a political hit job going after the president. So she should be under the jail. She should be under the jail, and she should escort that crazy chick from the last story to Hamas, and they can both go over there and complain to them. How about that?
I mean, think about this. Think about if Donald Trump were to go after if he were to go after, for example, if he were to go after her, right? After Letitia James, imagine how people would respond, how they would lose their minds, right? They would utterly lose their minds if he were to go after her for basically a political attack. And that's what it is. I mean, what her and Alvin Bragg are doing, because basically they campaigned on the idea that we're going to go after Donald Trump and we're going to throw him in jail. Now, you can chase a crime, but you're not supposed to chase a person, right? You can say, I'm going to prosecute this crime, But you don't get to go and say, I'm going to target this specific person. I'm going to find something to prosecute them on. I got a chance to download a little bit. I want to hear a little bit of Jen Psaki's commentary on this whole case. So give us just a second. We'll be right back.
All right.
Evidence of that again today. So while the wheels of justice turn at their own frustrating pace, we want to spend some time talking to people who saw and heard what Donald Trump did in these various cases up close. Jurors might not get to hear from them just yet, but we can hear from them right now. So that's what we're going to do tonight. Former Trump attorney Michael Cohen is standing by, and so is former Trump White House aide Cassidy Hutchinson. But I do want to start in New York City and the tale today of 2 Trump trials we saw play out. First, there was a major development in what is often shorthanded as the hush money case, but is actually, and this is important, an election interference case, given, as a reminder, Trump falsified business records to silence a porn star during his 2016 campaign. With Donald Trump sitting in the courtroom today, the judge in that case set the start date of his criminal trial for April 15th. Now, that date does come after a bit of a delay due to a massive document dumped by the Department of Justice that happened just days before the trial was supposed to start. But we very well may see the first criminal trial of a former president in just 3 weeks. Also today, in the New York civil fraud case, an appeals court ruled that Trump has 10 additional days to post a reduced bond of $175 million. That is, of course, less than half of the full judgment that was originally due today. And according to the New York Times, the $175 million bond is roughly the amount that Trump's lawyers had argued was the maximum penalty he could have possibly owed. A potential sign, according to the Times, that the court believes the $454 million judgment was too steep. That's a pretty big reprieve for the guy who just this morning woke up facing the very real possibility of a frozen bank account and seized assets that could have included his Westchester golf course, his Florida social club, or his beloved New York Trump Tower. And what really struck me about all of this is just how ironic it is that a guy who has railed against a 2-tiered system of justice repeatedly has been afforded the kind of leniency that no one else would ever receive. I mean...
Oh, well, okay. Number one, and you and I know this, appeals courts all the time go and they'll reduce fees, fines, and penalties or claims that they believe are unjust. And I think it is obvious. Once again, we're talking a victimless crime. The money he borrowed got paid back with interest. The person who loaned the money, they're happy. They have no problems and they have no issues. This is not money that's going to pay damages to a plaintiff. This is money that's going to basically into the state's coffers for a victimless crime. And nobody has ever faced a fine. No individual for anything like this has faced a fine that large. Dude, Jen Psaki is, well, let's just put it this way. She's an idiot.
I know, but doesn't that make her great? Doesn't that make her great? Listen, I'm watching her, Craig, and all I hear is Dreamweaver, the song in my head. She's a dreamweaver. I barely hear what she's saying. Here's what needs to happen, Craig, right? And I think you and I may have alluded to this earlier before the show. Donald Trump needs to pay this, right? He needs to pay it. He needs to go to state attorney general's office and pay this. $175 million, right? That's 17.5 billion pennies. All right, we're tracking here. 17.5 billion pennies. I want to give you a couple of stats here, Craig. If you had a billion pennies, 1 billion pennies would take up 75,000 cubic yards or 4,700 dump trucks. 1 billion pennies would cover a football field 12 yards high. All right, and that's only 1 billion. He needs to pay 17 billion. I would take all 17 billion pennies, dump them at the attorney general's office. Nobody would ever be able to leave that building again, right? Nobody would ever be able to drive down that street ever again. All them pennies, drop them off. And Donald Trump has solved the penny crisis in the United States. Everybody's been, we get rid of him. We should get rid of him. He's going to get rid of him.
All right, so check it out. Check it out. I'm calling for it now. I'm calling for it right now. So check it out, folks. And here's the thing. I have said, I ain't putting no money into Donald Trump's legal fund. but I will pay. I'll put money into, if somebody in New York is willing to organize this, I'll kick in some cash so that you can go buy the pennies, and we'll drop them off there at the Attorney General's office, wherever he's supposed to pay the fine.
Yep.
Let's do it. I'm saying it. Let's do it right now. Right now, I'll kick in. I got 5 on it, at least 5.
Listen, I've got easily $3 or $4 grand worth of pennies here. Okay, he could have them. He could have them. You just take them. Come get them. I want to see them. I want to see dump trucks full of these getting dumped at the AG's office up there in Albany.
Let's do it.
At her house.
Let's do it.
Surround her house with these pennies. You know.
I completely agree. I just think this is a travesty. This is a political prosecution. Because here's the thing, folks, and this is the thing. You notice everybody who's going after him are all Democrats, number one.
Yep.
Every single one of them. Half of them said that they were going to go after him before they ran. While they were running, it was part of their campaign that they were going to go after him. I don't see how this is not, how it at least begs an investigation. How about that?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And look, we could do it. There's 150 billion pennies in circulation right now. There's close to 300 million out there, but they believe that just over half are in circulation. The other half are sitting in change jars, like at my house.
All right. Well, let's do it. Let's do it. So if anybody, look, I'm going to be scouring the internets or the interwebs, looking for people who are organizing the penny drive to pay Donald Trump's bond. I'll kick in. I will kick in.
Pay it. There we go.
Do it.
Yep.
Do it now.
I will give, I'll tell you right now, Craig, I will give 5,000 pennies towards this.
There you go. I'm down. Yep. I'm down. All right. Next, you guys might recall that Ronna McDaniel, the former chair of the RNC, the Republican National Committee, well, she no longer has a job there. She no longer has a job there. But what's funny about it is that now she's going to be going to work for MSNBC. And MSNBC, oh my God, people are losing their minds about MSNBC actually doing this, about them having her on their show. So they're basically largely being panned. And then here I'll read a little bit of the story. It says Cesar Conde has a decision to make, and it's not an especially difficult one. The NBC Universal News Group chair is facing a torrent of backlash from his own staff after greenlighting the hire of former Republican National Committee Chair Ronna McDaniel as a paid network contributor. Over the last 24 hours, the most prominent and recognizable NBC News and MSNBC personalities have voiced strong displeasure with the company's decision to welcome McDaniel to the team. And they're not doing it via anonymous comments to the press. They're doing it on the record on NBCU's own air. Chuck Todd broke the dam on Sunday's Meet the Press with a set of candid comments about hiring about the hiring, and Rachel Maddow capped the flood of backlash Monday night with a blistering 30-second monologue eviscerating the network's leadership as their inexplicable move. Now, Mike, I got to tell you, the funny part about this is you do know there's already a former RNC chair working at MSNBC, right? His name is Michael. Michael Steele is already a contributor there with MSNBC.
Yeah.
What's funny about this man is that first of all, Ronna McDaniel she was a bad chair. She really was. She was not a good chair for the Republican Party at all. She lost election after election, and it's good that she is out. And you would think that they would celebrate the bringing home of one of their greatest assets in politics.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's like Michael Jackson said, Craig, the chair is not my son. So, you got to get, That's all I can say about the chair. Yeah, why not? Why wouldn't you want to have the oppositions on your their comments on your news station? Everybody's out there saying the news is so one-sided. The news is so one-sided. You've got an organization that says, hey, how about this? We're going to get somebody to play point counterpoint with, and we can have them on the show. And we control the show, by the way. We can always shut their microphone off. That way we win every argument, but at least we'll have the back and forth there. Why would you want to tell both sides of a story rather than just one side? I don't know, Craig. Maybe they're looking for some legitimacy in news again. I don't. Maybe a little bit. Maybe
they're realizing that they get about half the rating, not even half. They get a tenth of the ratings of Joe Rogan. So in a week, they don't get as many viewers as one of Joe Rogan's podcasts get.
Yeah.
They're realizing that they are descending into irrelevancy. Now, I don't think that this hire is going to fix that.
Right.
Having said that, at least they're realizing, okay, maybe we at least, like you said, need to demonstrate that we're at least an actual news organization, not a propaganda machine, or at least pretend like we're a news organization.
Yeah, that's it. They're good at pretending.
Yeah, it is going to be hilarious to watch these folks when Donald Trump is reelected president of the United States. It is going to be one of the most glorious evenings, weeks, years ever. And when I say ever, even more so than when Donald Trump first got elected, because before they were like, well, it could never happen. And now they're like deathly terrified of it happening. And by the way, when the political violence breaks out, because it will, because the left is wholly supportive of the idea of political violence when it is their side. Watch them say, well, it's justified. He's a tyrant.
Yeah, listen, the left clearly is, weaponize the DOJ against their political opponents. We see that, right? And Donald Trump said, remember when he said to Hillary Clinton, because you'd be in jail. And he didn't do that. He didn't do that during his first term at all, because he wanted there to be peace. He wanted there to be the parties to get along, and it didn't happen. Yet they did it against him as soon as he left office. Now, he's recently said he would turn the DOJ loose on the Biden crime syndicate. Greg, I'm not sure he would do that. I know he said that. That might be a campaign thing. He may not do that. However, I do expect them all to be pushed away and live in special camps. I mean, he's not going to let them walk free. I mean, it's just
pushed away and live in special camps.
Yeah.
He's going to intern all liberals, put them in concentration camps.
Just listen. Just the Biden crime syndicate, right? And any of their lieutenants and their capos and the worker bees. He's just the enforcers. They're all gonna get to go live in a special place. Yeah.
So what you're saying is we're not going to have any university professors anymore. Fox News, OAN, and Newsmax will be the only news broadcast news that we'll still have. Are there going to be any newspaper? Oh, there'll be the Washington Times and the New York Post.
Listen, when they start grabbing up the bosses, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're gone, right? And then listen, the rest of the rats are going to jump from the ship. Okay, they're going to be gone.
Oh yeah.
The university professor, the one that's speaking all this woke nonsense right now, right? As soon as they come grab the chancellor and put her in jail, the one that's got his back and saying push the woke stuff, they're going to walk in his classroom and he's going to be wearing, Bush Gore pins on his clothes, and
he's going to have his "Make America Great Again" hat on.
That's it. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. All right, folks, it's about that time as we now are at our parting shots, brought to you by Hog Holsters. That's helping Americans wear guns. Just go to hogholsters.com. Make sure you use discount code The Rundown, all caps, no spaces. Get your Hog Holster today. Speaking of Donald Trump and him getting elected, Mike shared this video with me, and I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I thought that this was very, very insightful, and I think it shows just how Democrats do not understand, or liberals do not understand that, people aren't voting for Donald Trump necessarily because they like his personality, but because they like his policies. As every policy they name that they hate is the reason why most people are voting for him. Check it out.
I don't know how Trump did it, but he managed to get Under the Desk News to do a campaign ad for him. And I gotta say, V crushed it. Check it out.
Here are the first 15 promises he has made if he is reelected. First, he promises that he will carry out the largest domestic deportation operation in history.
Well, the current record holder is Obama, but I got faith Trump can outdo him.
He will also ask for the death sentence for anyone convicted of human trafficking.
If you're a person who opposes that, go ahead and speak up. We'd love to know more about you.
He will close the Department of Education and return all education standards to the states to decide.
You know what also returns to the states when they eliminate the federal Department of Education? $84 billion per year. That's what we're spending to have a national Department of Education that doesn't do a fucking thing. Yeah, if you're opposed to the school systems having an additional $84 billion every year, go ahead and speak up on that one.
He will put prayer back into school.
No, he won't. No, what that means is he will allow people to pray in school. There has never been and never will be forced prayer in public school. He's just saying you should be allowed to if you want to.
He will criminalize any race-based advantage programs.
Good. Any program based on race is inherently racist. Nobody should have an advantage because of the color of their skin.
He will end the Affordable Care Act.
Good, that thing's been a fucking disaster. That program helped nobody. Just made shit far more expensive.
He will ban gender-affirming care for adults and children, and he will ban any federal dollars from going towards gender-affirming care.
Thank God. These people will finally be able to focus on getting the mental health care they deserve.
Which means anyone with government-provided health care will no longer be able to access gender-affirming care except for Viagra and Cialis.
Since when did Viagra and Cialis become part of gender-affirming care? What the fuck is gender-affirming about Viagra and Cialis? Were you just throwing that in there?
That's y'all gotta go over to tic tac.
Yep,
Tic tac toe. Tick tock tac
Yep.
toe. Anyway, I just did my Nancy Pelosi impression. But anyway, that was a phenomenal video. I very much enjoyed that commentary.
That was a good one. Yeah, he says,
Definitely.
He goes, "Oh, you're just trying to throw boner pills in there to seem like you got a point. Get lost, lady." Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that was pretty fun.
All right, this next one I found to be enjoyable. It's incredibly funny because it just goes to show, how clueless the left is. Now, for those of you who are just listening to this program, keep in mind this is a young lady who is carrying a sign that says "F the police," except it doesn't say F. Check it out.
Nice. So, where do you want to do this?
I literally don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, that was a cop who stopped and said,
Yeah.
"Where do you want to do this?"
Yeah. That video is like a minute or two longer, but that's the whole gist of it. It's just him trying to. So are we doing this? And she's like, "What are you talking about?" Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was hilarious. They clueless Gen Zer.
Yep.
And then we've got one final one. This one, for those of you, I mean, just so you know that there are those of us who are trying to expand our minds and try to be more inclusive. And well, at least this guy is doing it kind of in a different way.
Trying to be woke. I actually go in the ladies' restroom now. Sure. Well, because technically I'm a man, but I identify as a pervert.
I enjoyed that. I don't know why I did. That guy's he's got a lot of funny one-liners.
He's a fernie. He's a fernie. All right, well, it's about time to wrap things up, Mike. But before we do, you know what we got to do. We got to give that quick shout out to our sponsors.
That's right. Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. Get on over there if you want to get yourself a new AR barrel for your new rifle or pistol builds. That's hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. And don't forget, if you want the best in tactical gear on the market, anything your heart desires, you get everything except the gun over at uscombatgear.com.
All right, folks, that'll be it for today. We will be back tomorrow on Hump Day. Till then, y'all have a good time. We will see you mañana.